Because what it's done is giving us, many of us in the audience, time to read what was going to be in the bill and what was going to be forced through. So you asked, what is it that we like about the bill, the plans that we have now? I like it because I have my freedom. And what plan do you have? My husband's business.
Is he a small business or a large business?
It's a small business.
A small business. So you're one of the 38% that are covered.
Right. But the thing that I like about it is that I have my freedom. And in this bill, HR 3200, and there are others that are similar to it, it takes away our freedom. This is not really about health care. This is about controlling. For the sake of my children and my grandchildren, don't let the government come into our lives, come into our homes with these bureaucrats that are going to check to see what kind of parents we are, that are going to check to see. The bill is just complete with denying our freedoms. And I implore you, for the sake of my children.
Thank you for let me say this. Choice and freedom is very important to me. And that's one of the founding principles of the Healthy Americans Act, which is the bill that I'm co-sponsoring. But again, it's not perfect. It's a starting point. But the one thing it does focus on is free choice. For people to make free choices. So I couldn't agree with you more. We couldn't agree with you more, but when then some of you stand up and say, but this is what the insurance companies do, this is what doctors do, sometimes they don't do the right thing, this is what our companies do, they don't always do the right thing. There is an appropriate time for appropriate government rules and regulations, not control. Choice as possible. Yes, and you can trust me.
This is my daughter. She has cystic fibrosis. I agree with the doctor back there because the doctors are already telling us, and I'm not nothing in the political arena, okay? So if I say something,
you're the citizen and you're the most important thing.
Well, I'm the caregiver. 25 years, day in, day out, 24/7 for my child. And they're telling us, and the reason I'm so against the Obamacare plan is because it's going to ration her care. That's right. Yes. They'll have the care they need because they occasionally go. But the ones that are terminal, like she is, she'll have to pay the price.
Let me ask you something. What plan are you on? Are you on
we are on 2, actually. She's got 2. So we've benefited.
What are they?
Hold on. They're the employee benefit through his company, and she has Medicaid. And so the doctors and the nurses are very worried about rationing. It didn't work in Canada. It didn't work in all these other places. I have friends that have a child with cystic fibrosis. we have, some of us have insurance and some of us, and I have not ever been on welfare, I've never been, never took one penny from any government care. Nothing.
Before.
We work very, very hard for what we have. So I realize the cost is high. I realize that. And it falls on all of our backs. But the universal care is not, I don't feel, is the way to go. And I hope you really think about this when you go to vote, because you're holding someone else's life in your hands.
Let me respond because you want to have other questions, but I do want to respond. First of all, thank you for being a wonderful mother.
Right here.
And being with that baby, now 25 years old, and nursing her. You are very fortunate, and you must have gotten some kind of waiver because you have both private insurance and then you've also qualified for Medicaid. So you must have some kind of waiver. Okay, right. But if his income probably exceeds the Medicaid limit, but because in the state of Louisiana, if you have very serious illnesses on a case-by-case basis, sometimes those things are waived, and I'm assuming that you got some waiver from the state. My hope would be that any child born with cystic fibrosis would get the kind of quality